I challenge you to a dance-off. Hands off, no trash talk, no backwalk. On the black top, just me, you, that's all.
Hey guys, welcome back to Clash with Barndo. You can see here week 2 of CWL recap, Aussie Addicts versus Michigan Rose. Victory, 3-star win, 93 to 91.5%. So a little bit of percentage, not a whole lot in the relations to it. Now the Town Hall 10 versus 11 game was absolutely brutal. You saw a fresh hit going on Dave that really set them off early, but then 9 hits on Nanda, 4 hits to get Dynamo. Big percentages though, 67 even left with a 1-star, 66 on Dave, 62 on Dynamo. Big percentages. Now, we'll go while I'm talking about it. On the enemy, we had 5 hits on the number 2. Vice and Dog taking a 60%, 5 hits. That was the 3rd hit out of the cycle. It was Dragons to start off with, and then we said, nah, stuff that, we want ground, and then we stuffed up 2 hits and said, that's enough. It only took 2 hits to get both those down, so Twan having a double, great war for him for those results. Tits set the groundwork on that, so it was really good. Both of the results going from there, so you see Tits hitting 1 and 3, and then Twan clearing them, so good results on those. For the rest of the war, it was 1 Town Hall 10 versus 10 to 0. Vice and Dog coming away on the tier 2. Now, what was interesting to see for the statistics was we needed 2 Town Hall hit down 10 versus 9s for Aussie Addicts. There was 4 needed for Michigan Rose. So the difference is though Michigan Rose used 5 Town Hall 9 opens, and they sort of had a +1 effect. We did see some 6-packs this war. Revi Sorto coming in with a late 6-pack, getting the last 2 bases down. Awesome to see. Dennis with a 6-pack there. Also awesome to see. And there was one more, I thought. Yes, Wallace Hellis taking up 1 to clean up 1 fresh hit. So great war to him. Now, worth mentioning, you see 97, 99, 92... where are we? 98, 99, 98, 90, 90. So 8 hits being at the 90% or higher range. It's one of our big things that's really hurting us. And it's something we're working hard for, but we still only needed 2 hit downs. It was really awesome. Our 9s are working hard, so it's definitely a big up for them. Let's have a look at the bases. Defends, you can see there, mainly 1s, 6 on Wildcat, that needing a hit down. 4 on Benji, 4 on Dord, and that was a hit down as well. So awesome work there from a few of the guys. They've been pretty proud with the bases. We see it was 2 hit down fails. Well, not hit down fails, sorry. King Steve did hit our Town Hall 11, attempting to go for an 11 versus 11 to try and scale back the score. Did miss that, but it was the hit down fail on Twan that really hurt them. Being that 1-star. At that stage they had no more attacks left, they couldn't do it. Now with their Town Hall 10s, because they spent so heavily on the Town Hall 11s, they didn't get a chance to do more than 1 10v10 attempt, didn't get away with it. You can see a fresh 6-pack to Grinch, fresh 6-pack to Walshy, 6-pack to Cerulean, 6-pack to funny squiggly name. Lots and lots of 6-packs, so they did really well. You see 5 defence to German, 4, 3, 3, 4. So really in the end, not the best, but a win is a win. We're going to take it. It's good to get some 10 versus 10 action on. Let's have a look at that. Old Vice and Dog coming in there with a Queen Walk, Hog, 2 heels, 1 freeze for the Hogs. And you can see here with the bowler bounces, those working off. This was the second 10 versus 10 hit. Didn't have a 9, Town Hall 9 open. Possibly would have gotten it off a Town Hall 9. You can see a swap here of some loons. So 1 haste followed by some loons. 3 loons going off in the wrong direction at the Archer Tower. And then some loons re-put down. That was awesome. Got the Queen starting the way we wanted the Queen to go. You can see Clan Castle healers as well as the 2 healers. Bit of a thing we do use a little bit of at AA. And you can see it was a golem in the Clan Castle. So the first attack versus base was a minor push. unfortunately, the golem came out, we shed our pants, and the miners, followed by the loon dropping and the golem split, they died miserable deaths. So you can see now the first rage going out for the queens. It's 2 rages for the queen walking into those lower level point defences, the archer towers, getting the queen at the same time. Healer's still under rage, queen out of the rage, but enough to get in there, didn't need the ability. Golem and the loon just running around the outside, around the outside, doing their thing. Couldn't really get into the ground force until they got close enough to the healer. You can see another bowler bounce going down. Jimmy Bob to go down to take out the enemy king, and another wizard for cleanup. So it's all about time at this stage. Another wizard put down. The bowler bouncers were good. They got rid of the mortars, allowed the clan castle draw, and just the old 2 stinky finger drop on the hogs. Now what was good with that, obviously, didn't want to run the hogs through the inferno side. We weren't aware of traps at that stage because the miners ran into that stage before, and we actually didn't see what bombs were in this section. But there was a skelly trap there, so that was one reason why the hogs weren't run through that. It would have been better to have run the hogs through the wizard tower and the bomb tower and that to get the pathing going a little bit nicer, but wanting to avoid that giant bomb. So first heal going into that bomb tower and in and out of, and you can see the skellies just working away there. Enemy queen finally got that golem down. What was good was just the 1 point defense on that. You see the hogs working through the base, a second ground skelly trap, and now getting that freeze out. Freeze definitely could have been better, could have encompassed the wizard tower and the inferno, but you definitely don't want to miss the inferno if you do that. Tripping a giant bomb there. And you see Jimmy Bob still on 70-80% health, and a minion. That was probably the minion that could, getting into the middle of the base there. Always put 1 down to start off with and then wait for traps and then put a second down. Jimmy Bob, queen, wanting fiercely to get to that inferno. Didn't have a lot of health left. You can see lots of red traps. Those 2 little minions that could, just getting in there and getting the big win. The queen not knowing what the hell's going in, running in there and saying going different ways. So well done, Vicent Dog. That did help. Early hours of the morning. Now let's have a look at Nick here. Managed to get a war in, normally in Aussie Woot Woot. One of our subs coming in from the ACA, a good success story. Loves his queen walk, lava loons, and there was a really impressive oh shit moment, and it was a half-second decision that makes these raids survive. So you see Jimmy Bob getting out there to do a bit of a herd. Didn't get the enemy queen. That was his intention, I think you'll find. Didn't manage to get it. She was pretty deep. Now, we see 3 wall breakers, 1 dying to the Tesla, and then going down there, still did have 3 wall breakers left, but because that building was dead, they would have missed, would have had to wall break it over there. So one of the wall breakers dying, but the rage effect going out to those 2 wall breakers took the bonus damage and opened up the walls for him. Because if the queen had have kept on walking, old air defense in the next tier would have had something to say about it, and that would have really, really hurt. Now we're seeing more and more of these geared up arch towers coming into effect, and you're seeing double DPS, 150 DPS. The range is still pretty good. Definitely shits on the cannon. And I think they're probably one of the viable strategies that are going to be more and more. 150 DPS is massive. Now, the queen just back there, you would think that she's going to grief, but there was enough popping of those hounds to start off with, and the lava loon pop did the damage to it. So, unfortunately, the hound's taking a whole lot of damage early. Probably could have got minions down as well at this stage, but concentrating for dear life on getting this raid success. Keeps moving that queen around, has used ability of course, just the Jimmy Bob left. So I do think if the queen hadn't have entered with that rage off those wall breakers, this raid probably wouldn't have been a fresh hit. So definitely well done, Nick. I think he hit a 99%. Looked like he was going for a swag rage on his second raid, but just didn't know where to use it, and it was a heartbreaker. I'm sure Michigan Rose were probably watching it and pissing themselves, thinking, look at this bloke. So 1% off being a legend for his first war with AA. Very unlucky, mate. It's a bit of a mistake that we try not to have. Definitely, we don't swag spells usually. That wasn't the intention. So it was good to see fiercely upset about the result. What do we got here? MV Dopplinger. She had a bit of an oh shit moment. Now I don't know whether the intention was to get the queen to go clockwise. You'd expect with using Jimmy Bob on the right there that the intention was to have the queen go counterclockwise. She's got 7 wall breakers. What are we trying to do? We're trying to wall break her into that section. Jimmy Bob running around the outside. What do we got? Wall breakers? No, yes, no, yes. Righto, Rage comes down. Yeah, 4 wall breakers. There we go. What happened? So the mortar drew the queen over. That's giving her a bit of grief. Pops out the Rage. Still not happening. Which is giving the queen grief. Really, really good CC. This is why we're seeing this more and more. Those healers just dying, languishing in the air defense range. Really intelligent to get those loons in, utilise the range that was on the table and save that last healer. She's got next to nothing. Some would say that's a fatty hair of health, and just anything spits or coughs on that and she's dead. But because the queen had her ability, definitely worthwhile for throwing those 3 loons in. Let's get it into 2 speed. Where are we? Gets into the lava loon stage. Probably could have gone a little bit earlier because that 1 expo is going to knock out that queen given time. But manages to just sneak it through, you know, like how she saved this was just really amazing to see. Just patience, getting those loons in to get that queen to keep pushing, because that queen ended up taking out another 4 odd defences. Definitely was the oh shit moment. And these are the things that are turning us around from 99% and 98% to getting fresh hits and also getting those cleanups. So well done, Beck. Very good raid. Let's go and have a look at number 25. Where are we, old Kimmy? Kimmy is our resident slapper. Where are we? We've got, sounded about 4 or 5. 5 witches, 2 healers on one flank. 5 healers, 2 witches on the other flank. It's always funny how you drop down witches at the start and they just pat to all weird ass directions. One runs one way, one runs the other. You think they'd all sort of stick together. Kill squad going in the middle there. Jimmy Bob, level 26, getting up there. He's working hard at farming that up and maxing it out. Now the witches having a fairly easy time with just point defences on one flank. Has CC bowlers on the other flank. Hound in the clan castle. Witches getting stuck on that expo. It's a lot of damage. Good call on getting the poison on the queen there. That held up that golem long enough. Kept that golem tanking defences, which saved those witches on that flank. So definitely a good call on that. And just sneaks through. So by just sneaking through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 witches, queen, 4 healers all alive. So picked a good base to slap. Obviously that's a bit of a meta build these days. People have to be worried about the witch slap for something that is a very, very simple raid at concept. Let's have a look at 29. Who have we got? Old Muzz. Our resident alcoholic, except he does tell me he drinks schooners, and we all know that schooners are a women's drink. Let's have a look what Muzz has got in here. Shattered Go Hobo. I would have to assume we will be bowlers in the clan castle. 1, 1, 2 on the spell split. So, where are we? Starts with a minion. I'm not sure what happened there, whether the minion was a misdrop, wanted the baby dragon down first. Obviously the baby dragon under the non-rage effect. So he's doing piss all damage. Where are we? That's a very hard spot to hurt into there. So well done, Muzz. Good that baby dragon's here, because that's going to be tanking now if that wizard and minion as well gets into the rage effect. And now that baby's going to get the wizard tower and probably the archer tower out. So very good useful baby dragon there. I remember a video probably a year ago showing Muzza had a baby dragon lasted the entire raid. Kill squad in the middle there, getting the baby dragon CC witch Valk as well. It's definitely a common CC for these guys. I do see it more and more across all leagues and formats at the moment. Jimmy Bob in the middle, level 30. Queen, Golems has started his hogs. Now, I did forget to mention he did pick that up very well, and this was a good spot too. It's a bit of a common build having the two Teslas between Wizard Towers as well, and then having a Giant Bomb. That wrecks hogs. That's an anti-witch build strategy, and it wrecks the hogs when you're doing the Shattered, the Stone, Go Hogs and all those kinds of things. So you can see now the kill squad just trying to get through. Jimmy Bob's still alive, so at least he's doing a bit of damage to those walls. And the Golems, so still shitloads of tanking left in those. And the Queen with the bowlers behind those, still got the Queen ability of course. I don't think there was anything tricksy in the corners, so definitely a good read for Muzz. Really love seeing those two reactionary heals are what saved that raid. So I've been talking with my nines, and I mentioned in my videos all the time, it's that raid awareness, the situational raiding, where it's that half a second, 1 second split reaction. You see something and you react to it. Really well done. So great war, Muzz. All round, 83 to 80. Not a huge score. I think we're going to see very big score variations this season, because Rising has to have 3 T3s or lower within that 8 cap, whereas in season 2, I think it was two lower tiers, or it might have even been just the one. But then you're also going to see some clans that are going to have, they might put 10 Town Hall 10s in, and you might be getting less 3 stars. You might go to a 4-10 split. You might even see some Rising clans run 40 versus 40 this season. That's all on the table. So we're allowed to run 40 versus 40s. We're allowed to run 50 versus 50s if we want, if we can get the numbers. Yeah, it's definitely going to be an exciting season of CWL. That puts AA at 1 for 1. I'll see if I can find a roster thing to upload. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. 'Cause we'll never be